Good evening, friends. Let's explore some more of Siddharameshwar Maharaj. Here he says, you perceive wife, daughter, horse, or dog as separate. They are all nothing but Krishna. One need not change the form of the objects. Only the attitude of the seer must change. Brahman is the same even when it is in a state with attributes. You see, it reminds me of Rameshji saying, we are all instruments through whom consciousness functions. Just like electricity functions through all the gadgets in the kitchen, bring about what each gadget is designed to produce. This next paragraph is on doership. It is the hand that lifts and one says, I lift. The eyes see, but one says, I see. The nose smells, but one says, I smell. All this is the power of the self, and one says, I did it. That power belongs to God. Who is this ego arrogating I? He has no place in the palace, but once admitted inside, he overruled the king and affirmed his own existence. But when the scriptures undertook the search, his existence itself was disproved. Then the king once again affirmed, I am Brahman. If there are two, then there is pain. Where there is one, there is bliss. I love Siddharameshwar for his stories and similes. They are so simple and so beautiful. Next one. One can do anything, adorn oneself with gold, one can wear expensive garments, but the Guru's grace comes to him alone who considers all this as untrue. So beautiful. And also, you see, when we have seen enough suffering in life, when some of us early on the path, at an early age maybe, and when we have seen material objects don't really give us true happiness, because something that happens to the object, then we feel there is a loss. So when all these learnings take place spontaneously as the course of the natural evolution of our lives, daily living, then we are seeking the source of true happiness, happiness that does not depend on material objects and things and people and so on and so forth. And then the spiritual journey begins, and in that sense the Guru's grace has already come to us. Guru's grace, as Siddharameshwarji says, comes to him alone who considers all this as untrue. Untrue as in illusory, transient, temporary, fleeting, here today and gone tomorrow. The next one. How will the Lord pervade the body in which you, the ego, has taken a residence? How can one sheath contain two swords? So beautiful. And so this is what the teaching does. It makes the ego vacate the space. The ego, with its sense of doership, is vacated. So only the will of the Lord pervades the body. That is the only sword left in the sheath of the body. When I accept totally that I don't do anything, God does everything through others as well as myself, then the doership in the me has vacated its position. Or we look at it another way, the thinking mind of the ego, which is based on doership, is annihilated. The result, peace and harmony in daily living. Lastly, renunciation of wealth, feelings of detachment, and respect for a saint is the result of former merit and good fortune. He alone starts thinking of a sadhu. It is extraordinary to have such an aspiration in the dream within a dream. It is like being conscious and fully in one's senses, despite taking a shot of brandy or despite possessing enormous wealth, which ordinarily brings demonic pride. This is his good fortune. He is in a dream within a dream, but on account of his virtuous intellect, he went to a guru and discriminated between the true and the untrue. He got the experience that everything is false and I am Brahman. This means that he has woken up from one dream. And it goes on, but we'll end this here. It's most beautiful sayings of Siddharameshwar Maharaj. I have to tell you something quite funny. I don't know why I'm reminded of it now, but a friend of mine, he was French, he was in Bombay for many years, and he told me that he used to live in this area of Altamount Road, Malaba Hill, which was not too far from Siddharameshwar Samadhi. And what happened was, he was seeing this girl, and so he invited her one day to Banganga. He wanted to show her around the famous Banganga, which is like a mini Varanasi of sorts, you know, the water tank and all. And then he told his hopeful girlfriend that I found this most beautiful spot, tranquil and peaceful, and the good view of the sea. Let's go and sit there. And so he took her there, and they sat for a while till a caretaker came and asked them what the hell they were doing there. And he said, we're just sitting enjoying the peace, and it was the cremation grounds. So they had to run away from there. But that was, what was amazing was the intuitive sense of peace that he felt, you see. That is what amazed me. No cultural context of what an Indian cremation ground is, so none of that conditioning was there. Just followed the peace, so to speak, and landed up there with his girlfriend. Not the ideal place for a date, but of course I'm reminded of that because, as I mentioned to you all, Siddharameshwar Samadhi is in the Banganga cremation grounds, and there is a beautiful air of peace surrounding his Samadhi. I would highly recommend it for anyone visiting Mumbai. Thank you.